Again, it goes back to the point of Tempo Storm need to play their game and draft for themselves as opposed to trying to counter.
I was just about to say Cruel is still open, but I do think this is risky because Petal is still open. They could still go Glaive lane, Petal jungle with a dodgy roam. Unlikely, but it's an option. Celeste comes through, that's a strong pick with Catherine and with Cruel. They're going to have a lot of late game control with their range and their peeling. So it's going to be on C9 now to make sure that they get a comp they can get ahead with early game and mid game so that they can get an advantage and close out.
The other thing to talk about here is, the Krull, it's going to be for God of Sins. This is a player that we have not seen in a professional game in over a year. It was, I believe, spring of 2016 was the last time we saw God of Sins in a professional game. And so we don't really know what's going to come out, but that's a fortress for Cloud9. I'm still looking at this, not 100% sure of which hero is going to be where on this composition.
I mean, we said it was going to be an aggressive composition. This is something that Gabe Vizzle has been known. Please take it away.
That is right. I am Humanist here with Scoundrel and ready to go Tempo Storm versus Cloud9. And Scoundrel, we have a little bit of a Fortress Adagio Glaive comp coming out of C9. It seems aggressive and very powerful.
Seems very C9. I mean, obviously we see Gabe play a lot of Fortress, really one of the only remaining captains in professional scene that really sort of goes back to Fortress quite frequently. It's something that a lot of other captains won't touch because of sort of how versatile, I guess not versatile, how sort of feast or famine it can be in some respects. Often if you get behind as a Fortress, it feels like you can't really do much, but if you're ahead, obviously it's a really great way to push the game out. Gives an indication as to how mentally Cloud9 feel that their early game and their ability to pressure is.
Tempo Storm were as 3. C9 sent Gabe up into the lane. He was able to grab one of the last hits as the lane minions crashed up against each other. God of Sin's hanging out here in the mustache brush with Lost Boy. They're thinking about doing something, not going to find anything. Looks like God of Sins will just go ahead and port back.
Really interesting. They held on to that for a very long time, not even looking to seek to apply pressure, maybe because they're afraid if they showed God of Sins in the lane that would give an opportunity for I Love Joseph to roam towards the jungle of God of Sins, for instance, but they really held on to that for quite a long time. Gatsby was on pretty low energy too, so maybe by committing they were also opening themselves up to letting Gatsby go down there, so they were just playing it very, very safe. I feel like that's almost a Cloud9 thing, like you play really safe against Cloud9 specifically, but I don't think they need to. Don't be scared. Use that Cruel level 2, jump straight in on there to Fortress, put pressure on him, put pressure on Cloud9 in general. No need to play scared against these guys. Yes, they'll punish your mistakes, but if you don't make any moves, they're going to punish you anyway.
Exactly. I think that's the mind game that comes in, in some of these top teams. Of course, the top team right now, it puts that mindset into you, and you're just like, okay, well, I'm hesitant, I'm scared. You have to go forward. If you want to beat this team, you got to be making the plays.
Yeah, you absolutely do, Humanist. And the thing is, Tempo have got a composition that can work really well. You're going to have so much control with the Catherine. You're going to get the double silence once you've got the Echo. You've got the peeling potential of the Cruel. With the Desk talked about it earlier. Cruel, not just an offensive capable hero. He has the ability to peel quite considerably in terms of reducing that damage with the weakness stacks. Also using From Hell's Heart defensively too. So plenty of ways to protect Celeste in this composition from Tempo. But if you just let C9 get the advantages that they want, then you're going to make it a lot harder for yourself to get to the point in the game where you have that late game composition online. One thing that Fortress does allow C9 to do is they have that engage potential, that speed up. You've got that ability to always find sort of good positional advantage by the fact that the Fortress speed just provides you with so much going into these mid-game team fights, and Cloud9 are really good at pushing the mid-game, Humanist.
I mean, not only that, Gabe's really good about also, like, a lot of times you want to mark the target that you want to chase down. Sometimes if you overcommit, you have a target behind you, you can go ahead and mark that target and get your team out of there quicker as well. We've seen him actually do that. Lost Boy, he finds the stun, but C9, they turn this one around. Old School doing just fine, but it's got a sense, taking a whole bunch of damage. He'll use his healing flask. Looks like both teams should be able to walk away from this trade.
Yeah, they're just going to decide to stretch their legs back into the jungle and again reset everything. Mid Treant control has been very much in favor of Cloud9. You can see Joseph has got a small level advantage over God of Sins right now, just for that very reason. About half a level ahead, and now he's also going to push into the jungle of the Tempo.
It's a massive advantage for him now.
Yeah, huge advantage. Maybe almost an entire level coming towards it. God is catching up because he's done his backs, but remember, Joseph's got one full rotation left to clear. So whilst it might look like they're on similar experience levels, Joseph has the ability to go farm his entire back jungle and put himself towards level 6. And That's the standing experience on the map is something that people often forget about when comparing levels.
Absolutely. Look, it's just a full jungle ready to be cleared over here. His half, I guess, his full half. Up in the lane, though, we have old school Gabe Vizzle combo continuing to apply pressure here. One of the things also that I like that is picked up, Gabe Vizzle has got the Dragon Blood contract. I think it has a lot of great impact, specifically with the Fortress.
Yeah, I mean, Fortress is a super aggressive captain. You know, he has the ability to jump in there, put pressure on with the Truth of the Tooth. Use that Dragon Blood contract to just provide that extra little bit of damage. It's something that Gabe does a huge amount, and you know a lot of other junglers have tried to learn. A lot of other captains have tried to learn from that specifically, and Gabe's one of the best at using these contracts offensively, trying to find even the smallest margin of damage, especially against someone as squishy as Celeste. It can make all of the difference. You know.
What is it, like a 30% slow too?
Yeah, it's pretty decent. It allows you to position effectively for Gift of Fire replication. Allows you to get Glaive into position for an afterburn. Yeah, not a bad little 1-2.
Not bad at all. And then of course I think the cost on the contracts being reduced in the latest update makes it quite tasty to pick up. Gabe, once again hanging out in the lane, he's going to try and hold this wave as you have old school down in the jungle with Joseph, but Gabe just making sure he gets any last hits as the waves crash up against each other. On the flip side, Gatsby, or it was Lost Boy, I'm not sure who actually popped the minion candy, but they pop a minion candy and send Gatsby down in the jungle to farm out with God of Sins. So both teams trying to make sure all of the gold they can possibly get gets onto their laners.
Absolutely, and old school is one of the best.
Yeah. Defensive afterburn means they're probably not going to follow up on anybody here.
No, again, Gatsby just able to start clearing the wave out.
Oof, God of Sins hanging around almost too long. Lost Boy finds a stun up in the lane. Old School's doing fine, just avoiding. He doesn't have to commit too far forward, and he's going to be fine. C9 does a good job playing games here, but God of Sins gets his mid. Oh, Old School, what are you doing, Old School? He gets the heal. He's trying to get out of here. Can they keep him alive? No, they can't. It's Timbo Storm who grabbed first blood. An uncharacteristic mistake coming out of Old School. Now Gabe Vizzle is on the run. He burned that fountain earlier, trying to keep his teammate alive. Joseph waits for it. Afterburn's over the wall. Joseph and Gabe will get out of there, but they've lost Old School.
That was a little bit of, not even just a small positioning error, a massive positioning error, and now Tempo are trying to capitalize with this gold mine. RC9 even in a position to contest this. Doesn't look like Old School's moving down, but they don't have their fountain.
Button. They're gonna go for it. More claps on the Joseph. They're moving forward. It was a defensive one coming out there. So Catherine able to grab the gold miner, now moving back. This should be Lost Boy going down. Doesn't have anything to keep him alive. Gatsby? With Gatsby and Lost Boy going down. So a nice turnaround for C9.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think Toph was so obsessed with trying to get the last hit onto the gold miner that he kind of let he let Gatsby die because he used the fountain really late in that scenario. Unfortunately, didn't have the ability to keep Gatsby alive, and he was just focused down by Joseph there. And C9 took a very poor situation for them and turned it into a very good one by, again, they lose the global objective, but they claim another one in return. And they weren't afraid to go in even despite not having the fountain, knowing that the split focus between the gold miner and the ability to split the team up would play into their favor. And I really like the way that Cloud9 also separated their focusing. You know, you just let Joseph run directly onto Gatsby. They put him out of commission, and then obviously I don't know what God of Sins was doing, but he was like super defensive with his positioning there. If he just turned around and tried to go aggressive, maybe they're going to turn things back onto C9. But the shock factor of engaging without a fountain in that kind of scenario allowed C9 to split that tempo composition up and wreak havoc.
Split tempo up. It split my focus. I kind of like lost it, to be honest there. Gabe taking quite a bit of damage. Spectral Smite will come out of God of Sins. You gotta respect that. Honestly, Gabe didn't take as much damage as I thought would stack up there. It's only the tension bow coming out of God of Sins at this point. Gabe's gonna move forward. They're on to Gatsby. Gatsby trying to kite back, but look at the crit damage coming out here. Joseph on target. He wants God of Sins too. With that attack of the pack out, and they chase forward. Ooh, they got a delicious, tasty move speed. And one more second, they'll have it again. They should be able to chase Lost Boy down here. They get on target. He tries to get back under the turret, but that is a wonderfully played ace coming out of Cloud9 as they just pick Tempo Storm apart.
Oh man, this is so Cloud9 as well. They even get away. Unbelievable. Gatsby doesn't get that ability to stop Joseph there. He would have had the afterburn over the wall regardless. But this is so Cloud9 as well, having that ability to just capitalize on mid-game team fights. I mean, you give Cloud9 even a sliver of a way into a game, and they will literally destroy your team and take every advantage away from you. I mean, it looked like Cloud9 were on the back foot. Tempo had got, you know, some kills. They split up. They got Old School. They got First Blood. They went immediately immediately for Goldminer. How have we now ended up with C9 getting a clean ace at 9 minutes into the game and pushing onto the second tier turret? It is just unbelievable what C9 can do with just even a sliver of an advantage.
It's true. I think also a lot of times when, like, sometimes we kind of overplay it when we're like, okay, well, this team has an early game comp, right? So they need to win the early game. If they lose like one fight early on, it doesn't mean that they've lost the whole ability to still have that incredible pressure. They wait for those nice power spikes, they wait for the nice positioning, and they just take advantage of it. C9 sees the opportunities and seizes on those opportunities. So really nice job out of them thus far. Also, Joseph popping that level 8 infusion, I really liked that.
Yeah, I think also you've got to remember that C9 are one of those teams that are very few teams that see opportunities where other teams wouldn't. You know, they see an opening for a team fight. They see an opening for to push an advantage where a lot of teams might feel scared given how the state of the game has been going or the kind of composition that they're playing into. The shot calling in C9 is something else. You know, whoever does the shot calling, I imagine it must be Gabe. It's just incredible. Kind of what they can achieve with even just the smallest of time frame to make that kind of move happen. They're one of the only teams that really do it to this level. We talk about untapered aggression from C9. We talk about the aggressive playstyle from them. A lot of it isn't just aggression. It's precision. Like they are just so precise with their openings that no other team compares to them what they do in that respect. Not even TSM in some instances. TSM kind of win through sort of brute force, absolute mechanical outplays on Chuck and that kind of thing on Bonsi's early jungle aggression. But C9 as a unit are one of the only teams that when they find an opening for a team fight, they take it. They're the best team fighters in the business, Humanist, and they show it every time they play.
Well, I think that's why, we talk about Gabe being one of the players that picks up Fortress a little more often than others, because that is a hero right there that's going to punish when you're out of position. It's going to pick someone apart that can be separated from their team. And when you're able to make the shot calls and get everybody focused onto one target, it's one of the best in the game.
Keep control of that middle area. Oh,
God of Sins getting lit up. God of Sins probably goes down here. Found out a Lost Boy buying time. The stun as well. They switch over to Crystal Sentry. Attack the Pack is out. Old School threatening them. And C9 just take the Crystal Sentry, moving forward now. Danger zone. It's going to be the afterburn. And they chop God of Sins down. One stun on the Joseph. Second stun. Solar Storm comes through. Can they find the damage? Gabe holding the turret aggro. Joseph walks in. He's got one attack there. He's where you want to go, bud? He finally goes down. Caspi able to get a kill. So they'll lose Joseph, but they almost got out of that one.
Almost there, Humanist. Old School also used the wolves from Gabe to apply Gift of Fire there to allow them to chase up and get onto Cruel as well. Again, they just, the wolves bought them time to take down that Crystal Sentry. So even though it's a 1-for-1 trade, you'd say the net advantage goes in favor of C9 again. They've also got complete control of the central portion of the map because, again, they've been continuously pushing their advantage into Tempo's side of the jungle. This allows them to go for things like this gold miner for free without any fear of Tempo trying to contest it, because every time Tempo step up to this portion of the map, C9 engage and take fights with them. They don't want that to happen. They want to scale up with Celeste. So they're not even going to try. Not even going to try and go to the center of the map.
Yeah, they're playing scared right now. I can't blame them. Can't blame them. We've seen C9 beat people in sub 10 minutes, So, hey, you're hanging in there. You're 13 minutes in. God of Sins also, let's talk about this, Bacon said it's been since spring last year that we saw him. It might have been spring. I know definitely we saw him in winter, but it's been a long time since he's been playing competitively. Yeah, he's been on rosters for a while. Yeah, he does play, but of course those nerves can kind of get to you when you haven't been playing in a streamed match for a while.
Shakeups for Tempo felt like they were needed in some instances. They've had limited success across the course of the North American VG8, but C9 have always been kings. Second to TSM. Wait.
Goodbye, God of Sins.
Yeah, I was about to hand it over, but he's just dead.
You just keep going. Keep going.
Second to TSM online, but obviously whenever it comes to those clutch situations, that C9 are twice unified Western Live champions for a reason. They perform when it absolutely matters. It looks like they mean business as usual coming into this week. This first week of the autumn season of the VG8. C9 don't look like they want to perform any differently. This is a very unchanged roster. One of the longest standing rosters that we've got, and it's for a reason. These guys are the top of their game.
Yeah, they're playing incredibly well. Besides that one kind of positioning error out of Old School, which was You know, not something he does all the time. They've really cleaned it up, have absolute control of this game. Joseph has the breaking point, Sorrowblade build, his boots are ready to go. Once they get into a position where they can get onto target, I imagine they're just going to continue to blow them up.
And I'm going to just slowly do what they do always, just clear out their jungle when they can, get towards this central portion of the map, control a global objective like this gold mine. Again, they go for gold mine at all kinds of values. They just try to get the maximum efficiency out of it, and with Kraken spawning in 20 seconds, they're going to try and take this pay super quickly without the even thought of Tempo Storm trying to contest it. It's been incredible prowess and control of C9. It always is from these guys. So
Old School even walks over and takes the mid camp away from them. All his teams taking the gold miner there. So really nice job. Right now, they take it right as the Kraken awakens. So just before the 15-minute mark. Really beautiful stuff. C9 obviously in the zone playing towards the top of their game at this point. Tempo Storm. Very deep hole they find themselves in at this point. And do you think that what's the play? They just try to bend, don't break at this point, as an obvious push will come out of C9 here?
Yeah, I think the play for Tempo specifically is Gaspy's now working towards his clockwork. Get that clockwork online. Use that range advantage. I mean, C9 are going to be careful here. They don't want to go for a sort of a 50-50.
Lost Boy, dude, Lost Boy's the stealing god. Gabe moves in. He's on a God Ascends. Joseph over the top side. He's looking for Gaspy. Old School moving forward. The boomerang. That connect, I don't know if that's actually... I don't think it. God Ascends moving back. Gaspy getting loaded with the Soul Sword, buying just a bit of time. Blast Trimmer at the end of it. They've lost 1 and 2. God Ascends and Gaspy ripped apart. Lost Boy will be the last one to go down. Ace. A double kill, I think, coming through for Gabe Vizzle there. 4-0-6 on that Fortress, 10-2. CLOUD9, yeah, they're pretty good.
Oh man, Joseph was so good with that afterburn, held on to it for so long, used the boots to position properly, and kept Gaspy well in the fight for C9 to jump in on, capitalize on. C9 made such good decision making there as well. No way that you take a 50-50 with the Kraken versus Tempo Storm at this point, especially with the range and burst potential of the Celeste. They say nope. Bait them in, bring them towards our brush, then bang, straight on the trigger, go for the engage, and immediately put pressure on them. I mean, it's just such clever decision making. A lot of teams would have said, whoa, Kraken's nearly down, boys, let's go for it. But, I mean, C9 know the risk of that and immediately search for that big power play onto the Celeste, and they come away with the victors again, simply through a mix of beautiful execution and like I said, that really, really good clutch decision making.
On the flip side, you gotta say Tempo Storms once again seemed very hesitant moving forward. Like, if you're gonna try and make a play like that, make the play. Otherwise, just sit back.
Problem is that Tempo Storm's win condition now lies in Gaspy's range, and C9 have got one of the better compositions that I've seen to close the range on a Celeste at level 8. Fortress Glaive, what more could you ask for?
I was like, wait, level 8? I wouldn't be surprised. Of course, he is level 12. At this point, Kraken on the Vein Crystal turrets. They block off the Blast Trimmer coming out here. Lost Boy, no Echo to speak of. He'll find a stun. Storm Guard's there. He really can't do anything. They don't have the damage output. The last turret getting chunked down. Joseph on the front side taking a bit of damage. They block off the stun. Solar Storm not having the impact they want. As God Ascends getting onto Old School. Joseph peels for his buddy, gets onto the turret, and they take it out. CLOUD9 coming through with a huge game here in game 1 of this series.
So clean, Humanist from CLOUD9, but hell, I do not expect anything less from this roster. Our twice unified Western Live Championships, if they are anything but clean, they're doing something wrong.